Hey everybody, it's time for this second garden vlog. So here I am in the backyard again. Over here we have some basil and some winter giant spinach, I think, is mixed into there. I had a bunch of seeds that just poured out onto the table and I threw them in there. So here I'm capturing some footage of a butterfly that's been causing some problems on my kale plants. These are just some green onions right now. But the butterfly has been laying eggs on my kale plants, and then they turn into caterpillars, and they absolutely demolish the leaves. I'm going to have to do something about that. Right now, I've captured some of the caterpillars, and they're in a jar. I'm just watching what they do. They poop a lot, and they eat kale like champions. So there's a big tomato plant surrounded by a bunch of smaller tomato plants. This one here, the big one, was planted in March. And it's got flowers and a few small fruits on it already. Here I'm just jostling the flowers around to pollinate themselves. Because apparently the male and female parts of the tomato plant are both in the flower. So you need to shake them around to help them get pollinated unless you have bees or whatever. I put these tomato plants into these pots because they were root bound in my seed starting trays. And I didn't have any more smaller pots, so these ones got pretty big pots. They were put in there a couple days ago, and they've recovered and they're starting to grow now. Those are some other ones that were root bound in starting trays, other tomato plants, and they're doing better in those small pots. This is a strawberry plant that I saved when I was cleaning up an area in the yard. I just found some sunflower plants, strawberry plants. These are sunflowers. These are Russian mammoth sunflowers. I have, I don't know, as many as you see here, plus another 5 or 6, and I have some more seeds germinating right now. And it's the 7th of July when I'm recording this, so I'm pretty late in the season, but I want to grow microgreens this winter, so I took my chances and put some seeds on some paper towel last night. This here is a absolute monstrosity. We have 16 tomato plants, San Marzano, all bunched together, just plopped in a pot. You can see there's 16 stems there. Here's some kale untouched by the butterfly and worms. They're cabbage worms, by the way. That's a basil. Here's a tomato plant that wasn't doing so well because it kept being in shadows, and funny enough, it's in a shadow right there. This is a Russian mammoth sunflower planted around March, and so that's how far it is now. Here we go, the coveted, magnificent tower of lettuce. Everything there is going pretty good. I had a lot of leaks, so I used some pool noodles. You'll see them on the right, they're the blue things there. I used pool noodles to help stop some of the leaks. This lettuce is prize head lettuce. It's not a warm weather crop, and it's really hot out right now, so it might bolt. So I'm just checking out the inside to see if I see any differences. I've never grown lettuce before, so I have no idea what it's going to look like when it bolts. But yeah, I might find out. So this is the hydroponic system here. The white tube coming in is the return from the towers, and then the pump is yellow with a yellow hose. There's a view of the return, and yeah, here's the yellow hose, which I thought I was going to pan to before, but there it is. Yellow hose goes up, water trickles down, comes back through there and into the reservoir. I have some seaweed based fertilizer in there, and here's the timer that I use for the pump. So the pump is plugged into this relay, which is hooked up to an Arduino. So there's the connection I made, and that's a relay, so it allows power to flow through when the Arduino tells it it's allowed to. It's very simple code I just copied from online. I don't really know electronics that well, but it's very, very simple to build something like this with an Arduino and a relay. Although with a relay, you're going to be using high voltage, so you got to be really careful. All right, here we go over to the squash again. These things are getting pretty big. They're putting off tendrils, but they have nothing to hook onto, and they're very fuzzy. Here's the radish crop. This side I planted them spaced out, and I took my time with those, and then once I got like 50 plants in, I just poured the whole bag of seeds on the lawn and raked it in, and this is what you get. So I'm not expecting very good radishes out of here. They might be really long and mutated, but yeah, it's a lot of radish. I might grow some radish microgreens, so I might leave them to grow to seed. Here's some tomato plants. Couldn't find a home for them, so I threw them in there. I focused on a weed there for a second by accident. There's a rogue radish plant off to the side. All right, now I'm going to cut. Oh, there was another butterfly there. You could see it on the left. Here we'll cut to another day. I had some video issues. So these logs, after looking at the corn there, by the way, those logs are going to go in the bottom of this garden bed, which is my last garden bed for the year. I'm supposed to get soil tomorrow, so I'm going to record that. That's a broccoli plant. There's broccoli plants in the middle of this raised bed and tomatoes on the sides. So we'll make our way over to the other bed here. There's carrots in the front, which I just spread all over the ground right out of the pack. There's some cilantro there. And then these are my purple bell peppers, except I think they're getting overwatered, and by feeling the leaves, they feel really, really wet. So I'm going to try to let the soil dry out and see if that helps. The problem is that there's tomato plants and there's that cilantro that want a lot of water. So yeah, I might just have to start watering more carefully. These tomato plants are getting way out of control. There's cucumbers back there as well behind that tomato plant. I fixed them today, but that's not in the video. I staked them, tied them up. These are my best tomato plants, I think. These are definitely my biggest tomatoes so far. And in between the tomatoes, we have these sunflowers. Once again, they're Russian mammoth sunflowers. And I can use the sunflower seeds to grow microgreens. There's some kale in the front there too. Just had to turn the lights on there because it was a little bit dark. This is the second last garden bed that I'm digging. It attaches to the one that I dug a few days ago. I gotta fill it still, obviously. But it, yeah, it basically runs the same width approximately as the other one. I put these two little logs here so that I could walk to the other side of the bed. And also, if I want to hand something to the neighbors or something, I don't have to walk all the way around. So here we go. Those are cucumbers. Like in the last video, they were there. Except I added these winter giant spinach plants. There's a tomato. And I think I'm going to show some more spinach here. Yeah. So that's winter giant spinach. It was super root bound, not doing well in the... Actually, no, it wasn't root bound, but it wasn't doing well in these starter trays that I have over here. There's still some in there that's sort of dying away. My priority was tomatoes. So, yeah, I think you can probably tell from the amount of tomatoes I have. And back here in the corner, we have corn. The Tower of Basil with the kale on top. Some more corn. Sunflower. And there's some cantaloupe and Tiny Tim cherry tomatoes over there. And yeah, I think we're gonna get another shot of the whole garden here. Yeah, okay, all right. This is the first time I've recorded a voiceover for a video, by the way, so bear with me here. Vlog number 2. This plant is getting pretty big. I forget what kind of lily that is. Canna lily? I don't know. Either way, it's supposed to grow really, really tall, and it's getting there. So, that's it for garden vlog number 2. We have a Discord for... It's called The Greenhouse. It's a bunch of gardeners. If you have any questions, or you want some advice, or you have problems with pests, or whatever, I'm going to put a link in the description below. That's what it's called, right? A description. And I'll see you next time.